All hail a beard, it's your boy Big B, and we are back for another edition of Big Beard Business. There is no doubt that I am a fragrance collector, and I've been on this fragrance journey for majority of my life, and over the past 4 or 5 years, this journey has taken a special change because we are talking about it here on YouTube. And one thing that has changed is the amount of time that I get to spend with fragrances, because it's not like it was back then. As you know, I get new things in, I have to smell new things, get reviews up, etc. And that process in itself kind of takes away from the whole journey of collecting and exploring, if we're being honest. But today I want to talk about 5 fragrances that were lost along the journey and that we rekindled the flame. And no, these fragrances aren't ones that just boom, poof, and disappeared in thin air. These fragrances are one, for whatever reason, I just haven't worn as much as I should. And I know that I am not alone on this one here. So if there are any fragrances that you don't wear as much as you should or could, comment those down below as well, because we might find some hidden gems. Now, the first fragrance I want to talk about is one that I originally got in 2018. I remember this, I popped up a video in January of that year because I got this one in maybe in December of the previous year during my move, but I have been blown away with this scent. This fragrance is a compliment monster! And I'm thinking it's going to do the same thing as it once did now that I have it back in my hands. Now, this fragrance isn't worn as much as it once was, simply for the placement within its collection. The way I place these bottles, it's really difficult to get to, and I don't feel like going through them all to find it, but I did it for this video because I know this fragrance is dope. This fragrance comes from the house of Alexandria Fragrances, and this is one of their original creations, not as much so as the inspired by fragrances that they offer majority. The fragrance is that of Cacao Dreams. Now, if you know me and this channel, if you've been around for a while, then you know that this thing gets it done. Cacao Dreams is really like candy in a bottle, and it smells amazing. Divine, so to speak. The compliments roll in with this scent, and it almost smells like they bottled up a Tootsie Roll and just put it on the bottle for you to spray and take along with you all day. So I'm saying that Cacao Dreams smells like candy in a bottle, so therefore this one is sweet. You get cacao, you get vanilla, and you also get some caramel within the scent, and it really is a all-around great scent. Longevity, projection, and the much appreciated compliment factor are all top tier when it comes down to this fragrance, Cacao Dreams from the house of Alexandria. Now, obviously, over the years, they changed the bottle and design up a bit, but I'm sure the juice is just the same. Cacao Dreams. Now, the next fragrance I want to talk about has the most interesting presentation that I can remember because it came with something unique. This fragrance I actually picked up from Crystal Fragrance, and when I got it in, I wasn't all the way sold, but I think it was a maturity level with my nose. As I began to smell it more and more, I said, whoa. We are onto something here. Well, they are onto something. I just had it in my collection. This fragrance comes from the house of Phoebe Peacock, and this one is Me Mucho. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. One of the things that I do recall about this scent that I was like, okay, that's different. You had the note profile, and then you also had the ingredients list. And the ingredients list is often found with things that, well, we can't pronounce. So at least I can. But the one thing that I could pronounce, I mean, there's a lot of things I could pronounce on this ingredients list. But one thing that really stood out to me, it was that it was made with love. And when I think back to my wife and some things we do in the household, and why sometimes somebody cooking you food is better than you cooking your own, it's because it's made with love. And this fragrance is definitely that. Now, what I do love about this scent is the actual profile. This fragrance has this dark feel to it, but it's also very sweet. But it's done in a rich way that comes in a way that I find to be really inviting. Me Mucho is tonka, it's dark patchouli, you have vanilla from Madagascar, you have black pepper, sandalwood, and tobacco. For me, this fragrance is a creamy beast. The performance and longevity on this thing is there, and you can really see it as you spray it. Boom! boom, it's a shot of great smelling scent. Now, one thing I would say consider about wearing this scent is the way you spray it and how you spray it, because spray placement of this scent is important. As you can see, the juice on this one is darker and the oil there is good, it's thick, right? So you want to make sure that if you're wearing a white colored t-shirt or something that is brighter, that you are kind of distancing yourself. Don't spray it up close. And I know that's not something a lot of people do, but some people do. So be sure that you aren't doing that with this scent, because I wouldn't want it to ruin your clothing. I think when I'm thinking of juices that look like this, right? Ones that immediately come to mind is Grand Soir, right? That scent there. I feel like this fragrance here couldn't compete with that when it really stand on its own. Now, Grand Soir, I gave a 10 out of 10, and this one from Phoebe Peacock is one that I need to come back to. I've only seen this one at crystalfragrance.com, so if you're looking for it, be sure to check her out there. She obviously sells samples and decants as well. This here is just an amazing scent. Phoebe Peacock. Now, that is that is my favorite fragrance from them. I'm not sure how many they have now. I think they had 3 at that time, but for sure, a fragrance I think a lot of people need to get their nose on. Now, as we transition to the midway point on today's list, my personal thoughts on this next one is it's an unisex fragrance done right. This fragrance comes from the house of Rihanna, and this one is none other than that of Plum Rose. Now, as you would expect, this fragrance does have those notes of plum and rose within the scent, but it's done in a great way. This fragrance has a sweet and sour profile, and it really does a great job of infusing that plum and that rose into one accord. Plum Rose features the notes of plum, raspberry, melon, you have amber, you have clove, rose, as well as patchouli within this scent. I really enjoy it. As I mentioned, Plum Rose is sweet and it's sour, but it also has a hint of spice within the scent, but it also provides this nice coziness to this fragrance that I personally find to be romantic, alluring, and attractive. So if you're looking for a seductive scent that's a bit different that you can wear for a date night and will really offer an open and inviting type of an experience from a fragrance profile, then be sure to try Plum Rose from Rihanna. Now we are down to the final 2 fragrances on my list today, and this next one is one that I'm happy I had the opportunity to rediscover. I originally came across this fragrance online by seeing the bottle, and the bottle at the time reminded me, and still today reminded me, of Young Dolph. Now the color profile is different, but if you're familiar with Young Dolph and his cars, this one really looks the part. This one comes from Cacao Cabernet, and this one is Caf Cabernet. If you've been tuned into this channel, then it's no secret that I am a gourmand lover, and what we have here is a gourmand fragrance that really features a lot of notes, but some of the more prominent notes here that would stand out from that gourmand aspect. You have a milky thing going on within this fragrance, so it provides that lactonic feel. You also have some coffee here, and yes, I said coffee, and I'm trying to get away from coffee these days, so you know, this one might be difficult for me to go through. But within those, you also experience some additional notes. You get tangerine here in the top. You also get some cinnamon, rose, heliotrope, buttery notes within the scent, and the list goes on. But for me, on first spray, those original notes are there. That tangerine, that cinnamon, and that coffee are all alive and well. On first blast, on that first spray, there you have it. That tangerine is there. That's what you're getting, and then it transitions to a bit of that cinnamon there, and then boom, that coffee comes to life. Now, all things considered, this is really just a great fragrance that I think a lot of people need to experience. Now, we talked about some of the notes there, but I didn't really hop into the base of the scent. In the base of this fragrance, you're going to get some caramel, there's some tonka there, there's also some musk there, but for me, it's really more so about the tonka and the caramel. Those really take the cake there for me. When I spray this fragrance on skin and I'm wearing it, I really just feel great. It's a cozy fragrance. It still has a fresh feel to it, but it still possesses that love for coffee that I do have. Now, it's not like a super strong coffee like a black coffee, but it does have almost this latte-esque feel, and I enjoy it, and I think a lot of you out there will as well. If you have that one, comment down below. Now we get into the final fragrance on this list, which is also a compliment monster. Compliments galore can really come in with all of these fragrances on the list today, but this one here, well, they will roll in. And the final fragrance that we have here is one that is said to make you attractive to everyone you encounter. So good, the compliments will roll in. This one comes from the house of Nichane, and this one is 100 Silent Ways. Now, every time I talk about this fragrance, which is rare, which is why it's lost, I often want to say 100 Silent Ways, but it's 100 Silent Ways, okay? And for me, this is a rich fragrance that really is one that does exactly what it says it's going to do, which is really make you silently more attractive, right? People are going to really have that enjoyable, pleasurable experience by smelling you, and we all know what fragrances can do when it comes down to attraction. To me, 100 Silent Ways is rich, it's smooth, it's alluring, and seductive. I could go on and on about this fragrance all day, but this video has been extended enough. If you're looking to try out this fragrance or any of the other fragrances that I've talked about today, be sure to try them out. I have them linked and listed down below for you. Again, these are fragrances that I've come across within my fragrance journey that I feel like I haven't gotten to spend enough time with, or really have been lost along this process of collecting and exploring new fragrances, because there's always something new. So be sure to revisit your old fragrances, man, just like you would revisit your old friends, and don't let that relationship split. As always, I'm your boy, Big B. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Just hit the goddamn